This season, the only thing we heard when it came to the New Orleans Pelicans was the question, when will the team finally trade away Anthony Davis? As we know, after 7 seasons in New Orleans, despite the fact that Anthony Davis has consistently been an arguably top 5 player in the NBA, the Pelicans managed to reach the playoffs just twice with Davis on their roster and have overall put together the perfect blueprint for how you should not build around a generational talent. However, life is not always fair, which means despite all of their mess-ups, the New Orleans Pelicans were still rewarded with the #1 pick of the 2019 draft, aka they now will be drafting Zion Williamson. In my opinion, this was the only possible thing that could have happened to change Anthony Davis's mind, and I know. Almost as soon as the Pelicans won the #1 pick, AD himself made it publicly clear that he still wanted a trade away from New Orleans, but the thing is, Anthony Davis is not LeBron. He is not in control of his team's front office. He does not get to decide what the Pelicans do with him next year. He still has 1 year left on his contract, and so while I have previously stated and will stand by my belief that New Orleans has basically wasted the first half of AD's career, none of that really matters anymore. Because with the addition of Zion Williamson, the whole Anthony Davis trade rumor saga has become a complete guessing game. Sure, AD says he still wants a trade. Sure, the Lakers are interested. Sure, the Celtics are supposedly interested. Sure, Knicks fans everywhere think they're about to trade for AD after they signed the Monstars during free agency. Again though, none of that matters if New Orleans does not decide to do anything, and New Orleans has stayed strong with their own publicized stance in which they have said that they are not going to trade Anthony Davis, and in my opinion, that is exactly how they should handle this situation. And just to make things simple here, I decided to break down why I think the Pelicans should not trade Anthony Davis into 3 main reasons. So, reason 1, very simply, an actual winning atmosphere in New Orleans could change AD's mind and make him want to stay with the city he's been loyal to for 7 seasons. To find an example of someone changing their mind because they like the city they play in and enjoy winning basketball games there, we have to look no further than 1 season ago with the case of Paul George. Because just last year, the Thunder were supposedly taking a huge risk because George was very upfront with his intentions to eventually play for the Lakers. As we all know, however, right now Paul George is signed up to be a member of the Thunder up until 2021, and if things work out in New Orleans, if the Pelicans become the young, exciting, and talented team they have the potential to be, it's very easy to see AD changing his mind. 2, and I'm throwing in my 2 exceptions to this belief right now. I can already see the comments coming. Anyway, 2, New Orleans has no reason to do anything but try and compete for a higher level playoff seed next year, as their roster is really not set up at all to completely tank. I mean, for one thing, yes, New Orleans does have talent. It's not like they're a total disaster. Obviously, the Pelicans are now going to have Zion, but they also have a former All-Star in Drew Holiday, a player who had a semi-breakout season this year in Jahlil Okafor, signed next season to a contract that pays him just $1.7 million, and Julius Randle also had a semi-breakout year, and as long as the Pelicans are able to re-sign him, he looks like a very promising piece for New Orleans' future. And more importantly, history has shown us that when it comes to players of Anthony Davis's caliber, I'm talking true NBA superstars here, teams can easily get away with doing nothing in the summer and at least try to convince their star player to stay, because at the end of the day, a high-level star who's just approaching his prime, aka Anthony Davis, who is actually on the trade block, is one of the rarest things that can happen in the NBA. Seriously, think for a minute. When was the last time that a player finished top 3 in the MVP voting, then demanded a trade the very next season and got one? Again, very rare situation. With that said, I will cover my 2 exceptions right now, which are that New Orleans should make a trade if they do get an offer that is simply too overwhelming to pass up, which would have to be a ridiculous deal after seeing what they turned down from the Lakers. And my other exception is if AD does become a locker room problem and does things such as threaten not to play, yes, then it would be obviously smart to trade. But since New Orleans has still not gotten an offer they felt was too good to decline, and because AD has been pretty quiet for someone who has publicly demanded a trade. But before we continue, guys, I do want to take a second and brag for a little bit, because as you might have noticed, the clothes I'm currently wearing are very, very nice. And the reason I'm wearing these nice clothes is all thanks to our sponsor for today's video, Mack Weldon. When it comes down to it, Mack Weldon believes in three things. The first is premium fabrics, which means your clothes are going to be extremely comfortable, and trust me, they are. I mean, I love this shirt, and I especially love these shorts. These shorts are incredible. I'm being completely serious. One of the most comfortable pair of shorts I've ever worn. The second thing Mack Weldon believes in is smart designs. That means that their shirts and underwear naturally eliminate odors, which is kind of an awesome thing when it comes to the ladies or really just being presentable in everyday life. And finally, the third thing Mack Weldon believes in is making shopping easy. Right now, we are going to be looking at their site, and not only does Mack Weldon have so many high quality products that look great that you can buy, but their site is also very easy to use and purchase clothes from. And what I love best about their clothes is that they're multi-dimensional. I can wear something like this when I'm just hanging out, but if I go out with my friends, I still think this is a great look. Also, Mack Weldon is so confident that you're going to love their clothes that if you decide their clothes are not as comfortable as you want, which I doubt you will, they will refund your order. So guys, if you want comfortable, fashionable clothes at incredible prices, make sure to visit mackweldon.com right now and use the promo code Korzemba for 20% off your first order. Really, this is a no-lose situation. I think the link to the site will also be in the description. And for now, let's continue on. We are going to continue with number 3, the most important reason by far for why New Orleans should try everything they possibly can to keep Anthony Davis. The fact that, as I've been saying, the Pelicans have a generational talent on their hands. These type of players obviously do not come around often, especially for small market teams like New Orleans. There is absolutely no guarantee that anyone the Pelicans trade for will ever come close to being a top 5 player in the league. To just briefly show you what I mean here, in the last 12 seasons, not counting this one, 14 of the NBA's 30 teams have not had a single player finish in the top 5 of the MVP voting. 14! That is almost half, and if you notice, the Pelicans are not one of those teams, as just last season, again, Anthony Davis was 3rd in the MVP voting. The man is a megastar. And at this point, guys, let's wrap up this video with a simple fact. When it comes down to it, winning cures everything. And we've actually seen that happen several times throughout NBA history. At one point in time, the Houston Rockets would actually accuse Hakeem Olajuwon of faking an injury, and so he rightly got very mad, demanded a trade out of Houston, and then went on to win 2 championships there. Around 2005, Paul Pierce was fed up with the Celtics and later said he wanted a trade to Dallas. Instead, he was almost moved to Portland, avoided a horrible mistake, and retired as a Boston Celtic legend after winning the 2008 championship. Neither of these guys, though, compared to the what-if scenario that came with Kobe Bryant's trade demand out of Los Angeles. The Black Mamba himself almost became a Chicago Bull, but things didn't work out, so he did not get the trade he requested and instead won 2 more championships with the Lakers. Because as the saying goes, winning changes everything. With all of this said, however, we also really need to consider the severity of Anthony Davis's demand for a trade. Because at this moment, it is obvious that AD is completely fed up playing for the New Orleans Pelicans, and having a star in your locker room with that mindset is not exactly the best thing to have in the world. The thing is, only New Orleans themselves can answer the most important question here. Is the reason that Anthony Davis is this mad at the Pelicans because they have failed to put enough talent around him and he finally wants to be on a winning team? Or does this go further? Maybe AD is not only tired of losing, but also wants to play in a bigger market to increase his brand, just like Kawhi. And really, guys, there's no way for us to know the answer to these questions, and even if he thinks he knows the answers to them, I'm pretty sure with so many people in his ear, with so many people giving him different opinions, Anthony Davis is probably not too sure for himself. So what that really means is that this summer is going to be insane, and I can't wait to see what happens. So there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to go to Mac Weldon and use the promo code Korzemba for $20 off your first order. Moving on, if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe for more videos like this. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You guys are awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day, guys, and cue that music. By the way, if you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are going to love watching. All you have to do is just click on either one of them on the screen right here. And other than that, guys, again, have a great day and peace.